Panther Club has taken on a challenge to restructure this organization and to work with the other external organizations for the benefit of Prairie View Indian University athletics. Panther Club, established in 1932 as the P Club, has evolved in 1953 into the Panther Club, and now we have restructured what we're doing is as an external alumni organization with hopes that we would get new members from campus here very soon. The Prairie View Athletic Club needs no introduction. The very first athletic booster club in the history of Prairie View University, established really actually in 1982. I think some of the history says 84, but it was really established in 1982, and then in 84 they really organized, and I had the pleasure of being a part of that with Mr. Higgs, Lord rest his soul, who worked in such a tireless effort for Prairie View University. The Pantherbackers, established around the 90s, established itself as a mechanism to raise money for athletic scholarships at Prairie View Indian University. So as we tried to get this thing together, I talked to several people, Kenny Houston, Clem Daniels. They said, Charles, if you get all of these groups together and work together, you'd have something because there's strength in numbers. So I sat down with the president of the Pantherbackers, Dino Robertson, and at that time, I spoke with Mr. Higgs in an effort to form something called the 3P Initiative. And it's just simply all three of these organizations supporting each other's fundraising and support efforts for the benefit of Prairie View Indian University. So that is something that we are working on right now. It's not quite finished, but we are in the planning stages to do some wonderful things for Prairie View Indian. I want to remind you about the Prairie View Athletic Club's annual national raffle that's coming up this homecoming. Participate in it. The tickets are $1. If each of you could sell 10 tickets or 10 books to 10 people and ask them to sell 10, we'd have something. It's really an organization and an effort that needs to continue on the hard work and laurels of a lot of dedicated Prairie View University alums. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up our first speaker. He is no stranger to Prairie View Indian University, a 1992 graduate of Prairie View Indian, native of Killeen, Texas, former athletics director here at Prairie View, and now the interim athletic director, vice president of auxiliary services, and a life member of the Prairie View Indian University alumni. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fred Washington.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. All right, so I'm not a podium speaker. I'm used to moving around, so if I look a little uncomfortable, I might. I'm gonna get instructions from all of them. Hold on, y'all bear with Kim. What do I need to do?
So you're welcome to take the mic off the stand and walk.
I'm not walking. Thank you. But before I just share a little bit with you guys, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping and answer a few questions. But let me first say that all of the people who have asked me, LaShawn, stand up please. All of the people who have been asking me about my alumni pen, this is from the alumni penning activity that we have for each of our graduation ceremonies. I was able to get this because I got another Prairie View degree in 2016 or so, and so I attended a penning ceremony and they pinned me and gave me my alumni pen. Each of you as alumni are entitled to that pen, but to get that pen, you need to attend and participate in one of the penning ceremonies during graduation. So if you were one of those who asked me about my pen, yes, I'm not going to give you mine, but you are entitled to one. And if you participate, you can get that. That's the first thing I want to do. The second thing I wanted to talk about was how we got here today. I've been sharing with people that in 2008, when I took on this role as athletic director the first time, I had come back from a stay in, not a stay, but a tour in Afghanistan with the military. All right, I committed to myself and to my family to take the first 5 years after returning to get our things in order, to handle the business of employment and work up the corporate ladder. All right. In April of 2008, I took my family on vacation, right, Ms. P? While I was on vacation with my family in 2008, I got a call from Dr. Wright, our former president, and he said, our athletic director has announced that he is going to be leaving. Are you willing to step in and help us during this transition? So I agreed to do that. He told me at that time, hey, we're going to do this for about 6 months, and at that time we should be ready to move forward. All right, 6 months came, a year and 6 months came, 2 years and 6 months came, and on, and we ended up doing that for 5 years. In April of 2013, we had done right at 5 years on a 6-month commitment, and we agreed that it was time to get someone in who could focus on athletics exclusively, because I retained my division of auxiliary services at that time. All right, so I chaired the committee to select our next athletic director. We selected Ashley Robinson as our athletic director, and Ashley became our director of athletics on July 1st, 2013. Y'all are doing with my math majors. Math majors. So 2003, 2008, 5 years. 2008, 2013, 5 years. 2013, 2018 is 5 years. Here we are having this conversation. So one other thing happened in the middle of this transition that was significant for me. All right. After coming out of athletics, I again committed to focus my effort and my time on improving the services and things that I was responsible for at the university. We added housing, we had built infrastructure, we put together the packet that finalized the stadium and in partnership, all of those things. All right. So for the first time in 5 years, since 2013, in June of this month, guess where I was? On vacation with my family. I'm not making this up. This is true stuff. I was on vacation with my family, right? We were on our way for the first time to Disneyland. I was taking my kids. We had just saw the little sign that said, "Welcome to Disney World," and my phone rang. I answered the phone, President Simmons. President Simmons said, "Fred, I'm sure you know by now, right, that our athletic director has announced that he will be transitioning to another opportunity." Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know. It's shocking. I'm on vacation, but you know, what are we gonna do? And she said to me, in her own way, "I don't know, you tell me." And needless to say, I agreed to step into this role and do this. I said all that to lead up. One of the big questions that everyone has been asking me is, you know, how's the search going? How long are you going to be over there? Or are you going to stay on in this capacity? And the truth of the matter is, I just don't know. I can't tell you that I'm going to be supporting our athletic department for a month, or 6 months, or for 5 years. I serve at the pleasure of the institution and the needs of the institution. And if the need shows that I need to be over there another 5 years, then that's what I'm going to do. I can't tell you that that is the plan. I don't know that that's the plan. What I can tell you is that we have initiated a search for our next athletic director. That search is underway right now. On the update that I received last week, we had over 50 applicants. So, and the position posting hasn't closed yet. So what that means is this is going to be a rigorous review, right? And that we expect that in 50 applicants, we should have some very skilled professionals interested in joining us on the Hill. So that's where we are in terms of that search. That search, as Ruth said during her comments, is being chaired by Corey Bradford, our CFO and Senior Vice President. He is leading that effort. You know, there are a variety of people on the committee. I'm not on the committee, so I don't know who all of those people are. One of the things that I've heard, and I listened to Kim's radio interview on Mike Pence's show and all these things. I'm a closet listener. I don't really talk to you guys about everything. I pay attention to what you say, what you're doing, and try to get that information. But one of the things that people ask about is how is the Alumni Association, or how are our alumni engaged? And it's an interesting question, you know, when I hear that, because, you know, when I reflect back on all of the committees that I've participated in and everything that I've been a part of as an alum, but as an employee, and I understand the distinction, there's always a large amount of alumni engagement and participation. In the committee that we had that selected Ashley, you know, there were 7 alumni that were on that committee. There were 7. There was only 11 people on the committee total. 7 of them were. So I wanted to share that to you, that we are doing some dynamic things to formally engage and participate with alumni, but don't mistake that alumni have not already been a part of everything that we do. That has been something that has been going on for a very long time, and I think what we're going to do now is only make that strong. That's the goal, not to create something that isn't there, but to enhance something that can do a whole lot more if we do it correctly. All right, so that's my Johnny Carson entry monologue. So athletics, where's athletics? You know, one of the things that I thought when I got the call and got past the first 30 minutes of my wife yelling at me and my kids talking to me about, I thought that we were retired and we weren't doing that, and we're on vacation, why are you taking calls? We got past that. And I started thinking about it, because you can't get this kind of call and then not think about it, even though I was headed to Space Mountain and all that. I still had to think about this. I said, what is it that we need to do in athletics? You know, depending on where you put the value in the success of a program. In 2012 and 2013, we won the Commissioner's Cup for the first time in institution history. If you say that the importance of a program is measured in that regard, then we were number 2 this year. All right, so our programs are competitive and doing the things that we want them to do. If you measure a program on the outcomes that come from the students who are part of it, are they graduating? Are they getting jobs? Are they doing things to be successful beyond the playing field or playing surface that they participate on? Our students are doing well. Our student athletes are outperforming our general student body by almost 30%. That has been the case for a very long time. It's not new. If you put value on revenues or the amount of money that an athletic program is bringing in, then if you trust external reports, the reporting shows that our athletic program financially is among one of the top performing programs financially. In ticket sales and sponsorship and institutional support and all those categories, we're among the best. If, like Robert Evans, you think that the number of people who physically come and sit in the games, right, Rob, I'm calling you now. If you think that is the most important thing, Rob and I had a good hand with him. Rob, as a good Panther, went and did what? He researched whether Fred knew what the heck he was talking about and pulled it up and texted to me this morning when I was just waking up. But what he found was, right, Rob? Oh, yeah. He found that our fans and our supporters are attending our games at a rate that is equal to or better than any of the other programs in the FCS. Whether you count FCS in general or you count it as HBCU, we are among the top. So what's missing, or what can we do? What I said to our president during this time we cheated together, what I said is I want to try to spend this time focusing on what can we do to help support our athletes, our coaches, and our staffs. That's one. And what can we do to improve the quality of the experience that our fans, our alumni, and others that attend and support us have when they come to our event. So those are the two things that I wanted to spend my time doing. That's what we're focused. So you're going to see a couple of things next week. You know, I've been here with you guys since Thursday. I was planning on putting out a survey on Monday, but the computer here won't allow me to open attachments, and I don't know if anybody else is having any problem, but I wasn't the most efficient employee doing the work of the institution here in that regard. So the survey may be a little bit delayed because I couldn't get it, make all my notes, print it out, and send it to the staff and stuff. But sometime next week, first group, if you are a season pass holder, you're going to get this survey questionnaire from me. The questionnaire is really designed to help us before we start making a host of changes and moves, really to hear from you what is important, what we're not doing so well, and where you would like to see us focus. So if you're in that category of season pass, you're going to get that thing first, and I do need and would appreciate your responses. We will take those things into consideration. After that, it will go out to a broader audience. The survey will change some, so you may get it more than once, depending on if you are supporting us in more than one way. But that's something that we're going to do. If we spend time together focusing on making the experience better, I think all of the other things kind of feed off of that. You know, again, in talking, I don't see Chris in here, but in talking with Rob and Chris and the other guys yesterday, we were debating, you know, how do we get better at Rob now, what, moving to the Southland, and again, Rob was we should do that type of guy, and everybody's entitled to their views and opinions, right? The decisions that we make should be driven by the reality of the data and the information. All right. If the Southwestern Athletic Conference, which we participate in, is the #1 attendance FCS program, which the report said that it is, and we are in the top 2 of all HBCUs, what are we going to accomplish by moving and jumping around? Should be driven by our goals and the data that feed us. You know, I think, where's my San Antonio alumni? So he said, right, you're taking bus trips, think about alumni to games and activities. Alumni, what I would tell you is, in my opinion, it's important that those things come to campus, right? The resources and the presence of alumni, fans, and supporters and our resources and supporters to other places based on the way that relationship is set up. For the UNLV game, which I'll be at the UNLV game, I was already scheduled to go to the UNLV game without this transition. The proceeds go to UNLV. Right? I'm there as a casual fan. I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm going to sit and stand. And that'll be the end of it. But when you bring a group to Prairie on our campus, yes, the ticket sales and that thing goes to the institution. So think of all the things that we talked about yesterday and the day before with alumni engagement, participation, and awareness that happen when those people come to our campus. You're going to see things you like, you're going to see things you don't like, and you're able to help us get better. Can't help me get better in Dallas. Kim, no offense. No offense, I love Dallas. I've been at the gala 16 times in a row. I'll be there again. You know, Kim sits me way in the back. Yeah, I ain't had a good. I'm good.
I'll work on it then.
We're gonna have, somebody, she's gonna get a better seat.
Now to the AD, you get better.
Exactly. I've been in the job before now. But anyway, the point of what I'm trying to share with you in just in my brief comments, and Charles is tapping his fingers, which means I'm at my minute mark. Right? Don't cover it up now, Charles. I'll let you. But the point that I want you to leave here with me, and after coaches have had a chance to talk and answer questions, I'll be here to field questions as well. The point that I want you to take away today, if anything, is that in order for us to be successful as an athletic program, not in this time that you and I will be together, but in the time that we continue to have athletics, in order for us to be successful, we need you and we need the other alumni to engage with us on campus. Yes, we come back, and Charles just said to me, Vernon just said to me, we turn out great for homecoming. We do. Every following week, you can show up 3 minutes before the game and get in right at kickoff. Right? We have to bring those experiences to our campus. We that are attractive to you, but to do that, we need you to tell us how to win.
Involvement with this program is like a drug. You just gotta have it. And I was tapping my fingers because I was getting so excited about what you were saying, because a lot of these questions that are asked about athletics, there's a lot of misconceptions. You know, Mr. Edmond used to tell me, son, research is the foundation of learning. And if you do your research, you'll find that these questions are right there in front of your face. And you'd be very surprised to find out that we are very, very, very successful with this athletic program. I want to thank Fred again for taking time out of his schedule to come and assist us with this. This is my first time. I've served this institution as the voice of the Panthers. This will be my 28th year. And I'm really, really proud and excited to continue to serve this institution. And I want to thank you sincerely for continuing to have me. Our next speaker needs no introduction. She's a 1991 graduate of PVAMU University. She's also a native of Killeen, Texas. I know that. San Antonio? I'm sorry. San Antonio. San Antonio. I'm sorry. San Antonio. I got family in Killeen. Hold on. Get it wrong. She is the Associate Athletic Director for Internal Operations and the Senior Women Administrator. She's been in that position since 1991. She is a Southwest Athletic Conference Hall of Famer, a Prairie View Hall of Famer. Yeah. She has 35 championships under her belt. She is working the top.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. I would like to thank Mr. Porter as well as Fred Washington for giving me this opportunity to speak before our head coaches that's here right now. Our first coach, he's not new to the belt in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. He has 7 SWAC championships as a head coach or as a coach, 5 Black National Championships, 2 Heritage Bowl wins, 1 Celebration championship. All that said and done, we'd like to welcome Coach Eric Dooley.
Good afternoon. Again, it's an honor to be here. I actually get the opportunity to come back to my hometown. This is where I'm from, New Orleans, Louisiana. But I was excited to come down and visit with the alumni. I know you guys are excited and want to know the update of the football team. Well, at this present time, started in early June, we had 85 to 95 guys that was in summer school and still are there right now. Some of them are going to school, but the majority of them are there to get better. We have a challenging season that's coming along this season, but we're excited about it and we accept the challenge. We understand the schedule. Of course, we need you guys' support to come out to our very first game, which is going to be August 25th versus Rice. Been in this conference a long time, and to me, it's a blessing to have the opportunity now to stand around and become a head coach in this conference, a conference that I played in and then I came up and coached in, and had opportunities to go other places, but this is the only place for me, Southwestern Athletic Conference. I do hear the raw about going to another conference. I'm a SWAT guy. That's what I am, and that's what I want to stand for, and I'll continue to be within this conference. But I know you guys have some questions. I don't want to bore you with what I have to talk about. Actually, I'm ready to get back to Texas, because there's some work that has to be done. But I'm here to answer any question. I know Greg said that you guys asked the question, want to know what the team's going to be like, or what are we doing. We're going to be competitive. We're going to be competitive for 60 minutes. We're going to play good football, exciting football. It's going to be stuff that you guys want to get out there to see. So if you haven't gotten the season book, now you need to get them down before it's too late. Because it's going to be a pack out there where we go. We're going to put on a show. That's what we're supposed to do. And I know I understand that I'm not a guy that brags, but I'm confident. I'm not trying to build. We're going to win now. The time is right now. They don't give you opportunities to build for 2 and 3 years. You got to play right now. This is what I'm a part of right now. That's what I've always been a part of. I had the opportunity to come under somebody, Pete Richardson, and had the opportunity to go with Mike and Project 5. But I had the opportunity to learn. I always believe in learning, whether what to do or what not to do. So just through that upbringing, I know that I'm prepared. I'm not worried about the challenges. They say why Prairie View, because my steps was ordered to come to Prairie View. And that's what I believe in. So if my steps are ordered, I don't have to look over neither one of my shoulders. I know that it's a prepared place, but it takes work. It takes work. So I'm excited and I'm up for the challenge.
Did somebody ask you about being pregnant?
No, they have not. If you have that question?
We're gonna, I don't mean to interrupt, excuse me, Coach. We're gonna hold questions to the end. We have a time frame. There's a bus leaving at 2 o'clock, so we're gonna limit questions and hold them to the end of the session. You can always email Coach or find a way to.
But I will let my time go, but that is a question, and I'll answer that to get out of the way. Who's devil on schedule?
Our next coach needs no introduction. This coach actually has 381 career wins. She received 4 Coach of the Year awards, 7 SWAC regular season champion, 8 preseason appearances, 2 NCAA tournaments. No one but Coach P.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to be here. But I'm excited to be here. You know, people are asking me everywhere I go, you know, Coach, you left the Brand X school and you're moving to Houston, huh? I was like, yeah, I'm excited about it. Prairie View is the gym, a diamond in the rough. I'm looking at this situation from all angles. I think I can just do a phenomenal job here. I think I can grow this program to new heights, and I'm excited about that. Right now we have 12 young ladies on campus working out, going really hard, and you know, I just think sky's the limit. You know, this time last year we were getting prepared for the season, and we got voted 4th. And I told the media we wouldn't be finishing 4th. Needless to say, we didn't finish 4th, we finished 1st. This team here, someone asked me, well, Coach, what do you think about the PV team? I think, you know, you got Grambling, and you got this school, and you got that school. You know, I think you guys can finish in the top 5. I told him, we won't be finishing 4th. You know, we will be finishing in the top, and that's my expectation. That's why I'm here. When I got a phone call from Ashley asking me would I be interested, I jumped all over it because I stood from afar and watched Prairie View grow, the athletic department grow. You know, Fred, you really got this ball rolling. When Ashley was able to pick up the ball and keep running with it, along with Ms. P. I'm looking forward forward to, Ashley's no longer here. Miss P thankfully is, and I'm looking forward to running this race with her. I think she's going to continue to put PV out there in the limelight as long as she's in that capacity, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I believe in strong leadership. You know, everything starts from the top and trickles down, so it's important to me that there's someone in that chair that I can depend on. That when I go to them and have a concern or an issue, that it can be resolved. I think that we can play beyond anything that I've ever played for. I think that PV is poised to be in the mid-major ranks. I think Coach Dooley is absolutely right and correct in what he's saying in terms of what capabilities are here. I think the alumni support needs to continue to grow. You know, we're going to be counting on you guys to buy tickets, come out and support. Those of you who are own businesses or attorneys, we're looking for mentors for the young ladies to come in and speak to the team and to help them network. Because basketball is only 4 years. And when that's over, we want those young ladies to have opportunities going forward out in the community and their chosen career path. So we're excited. I'm the new kid on the block, and that's the first time I've ever said that in a long time. I'm new. I'm doing it, Coach Dooley. I mean, I'm like 2 months in, so I'm excited. I'm learning all over again. You know, they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you know, I've never looked at myself as that. I'm always learning and looking to grow and expand. You know, I tell a lot of my colleagues that's how you stay relevant. You stay relevant by learning. You know, when you get to the point where you're going to sit on the porch, you know, and watch everybody else go by and rest on your heels, you find yourself, you know, out of pasture. So, you know, I'm one of the oldest coaches in this league. I think Frida Allen might have me, Frida Jackson might have me as, you know, the veteran. I talk to the younger coaches in the league, and I encourage them and try to offer my support wherever I can to whoever will listen if needed. But, you know, I'm here at PV. I'm here to make PV great, women's basketball by any means, whatever we got to do. Raising money, coming out to speak to your organizations or whatever we need to do. I want to put PV, women's basketball, on the forefront, especially in the Houston area. You know, don't talk to me about TSU, don't talk to me about Rice, don't talk to me about U of H. I'm talking about PV and the growth of women's basketball, and I just think it's ready to explode. It's right there. Right there is a phenomenal recruiting zone. Killeen, Texas, phenomenal. The quality of young lady that you can get out of the state of Texas. I'm thrilled. So look, come out, support us, cheer for us. You know, you can email me. My email address is lqpew@pvamu.edu. So if you come across a young lady you think it might be of interest to us, email is what I'm known for. So I really learned and I enjoyed was when someone did the call, PV. So, you know, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. PV! You know! Go Panther.
Good job, Coach. Our next coach, he didn't waste any time off this to be counseling him, but it did pay off the following year. He did receive Coach of the Year, the SWAC Champions of the Year. He also had a history that
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be here. Thank you. Tell you a little bit about the state of what we're doing.
There you go.
So I'm not bound to that. Is that a little bit?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Under the tutelage of Mrs. Pete, Mr. Robinson, and the administration, we've been able to do some wonderful things. As she said, my first year, the program that I inherited took a look at what we did and made some changes. And in the second year, we brought in some new people, average GPA of 3.4. The men's team, GOSTAT, which is the NCAA rating body, They ranked in their first ranking of recruiting classes, they ranked our recruiting class this past year in October, 15th in the nation with teams that are ranked in the top 20. That's not too bad for a bunch of kids, no-name kids, and a no-name coach. The SWAC championship, my SWAC champion, individual champion is an individual and a team tournament for golf. The individual champion didn't have a place to even play. I found him going around, like Pete said, I was going around beating the streets looking for players. Found this gentleman in Houston, didn't even have a home, was going to go to junior college. He ended up being a SWAC champion and leaving for us. So there's a hotbed of talent, Division I men's region at University of Oklahoma. That was a wonderful experience. Mrs. Pete supported us there. Able to see what we need to do to continue to not only get to regionals, but also begin to compete and contend. Those are the next steps that we're looking at. In regards to that, I was able to still, according to his mother, he's now the #1 player in his class out of the state of Georgia, which means he's top 50 in the country, and he looks, he's an African-American young man. Very good player, very good student. So the future is very bright. We were able to also get one of the best players in the city of Houston. So we're going to continue to move forward. As far as our ladies are concerned, I was in Dallas recently. I have a hotbed of young ladies in different parts of the country that I'm looking at: Orlando, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Texas, Colorado. We're looking at 2019 being our real breakout year. For the first time in school history with the ladies, we were able to finish my first year finished 3rd in the conference. We repeated that this year. So we're trending in the right direction, and we're going to continue to move forward. Anyone have any questions?
We're gonna hold questions until after.
Well, I shouldn't be saying this because all of our coaches are great coaches, but you know that saying when we save the best person coming, he's a graduate. He did play baseball here at Prairie University. He was inducted into the PV Hall of Fame. This year he did celebrate his first win with his team as being crowned the 2018 SWAC champions for the Southwest Athletic Conference. That being said, Coach Williams.
I have to share this joke with y'all. I've known Vernon since undergrad. We always joking around. So during my 10 years of athletics, the first time, each year athletics has this, what is it called? Athletic Day. Yeah, the athletic day where the department has all the athletes out, and you know they feed them, and it's fun and games and everything. It's really a fun day. And on this particular one, the department had decided that we were going to feed the student athletes, right? So me and Vernon were standing together in line. I think he was on my left side. Yeah. So we were doing the condiments, and if you've been out to the softball field at that time, where we were lined up, there was an old practice softball field that was right here. All right, and so we were serving, and there was a group of kids that was probably 9, 10 years old over there playing while we were serving and participated with our student athletes. And I looked over at Bert and I said, "Hey, you brought the last year's team down here. We gotta get better." Congratulations.
Yeah, I was like, how's that major gonna call my team the bad news? But glad to be here. As Ms. Pete said, I'm an alum of Prairie View. And as an alum, I'm excited. I don't know if you guys pay attention to Coach Dooley and Coach Pugh's resume. You know, I'm looking forward to their first year to see, you know, how they're gonna take our program to the next level in both the sports. Like I said, this was our first championship as a softball team in 20 years. You know, our young ladies did something that's never been done in the softball SWAC history. We lost the first game, and we went to the losers bracket. We won 6 games in a row to come back and win the championship. And so anybody with you got want some bragging rights, you know. We beat Mississippi Valley, sent them home for 2 years in a row. Next we came back and beat Alabama and them scored the most runs against anybody in the tournament. The next day we beat Pine Bluff, the only team that gets shut out in the tournament. We shut them out in the tournament.
Okay.
Saturday morning we beat TSU, so anytime you beat TSU. And then we beat Alabama State twice on their home field and win the championship.
Oh, nice.
You know, these young ladies show some hard, like Chris said, we've come a long way from the bad and the bad to the aspect champions. And they're also, you know, handling things in the classroom. We have a 3.4 GPA, APR, last year was a 983, this year was 1,000. Things are still, we only lost 4 players, so we're looking good for next year. We're bringing in 8 new kids, JUCO kids, freshman kids, 2 new pitchers, one who is the strikeout record holder in the state of Colorado. And the next young lady, she took her team to the semifinals of the state championship here in Houston. So we're not looking, now we're a championship team, so now we're trying to improve on that. I was talking to Mr. Washington, and he was saying what was next, and you know, swag, yeah, we want to win swag, but once we get to the region, we want to beat a team in the region. We want to go to the next level, swag. So, one thing with alum, as an alum, we don't get the support that, you know, I know football, basketball, they drive and train, but you know, our young ladies, they practice every day, just like football and basketball.
Yeah, that's what
They look out, they want to see people in the stands as well, come see this play. So just asking that you guys come out right on campus, new facility that, thanks to Mr. Washington, Mr. Robinson, Ms. Pete, I keep Coach Pete, Ms. Pete. You know, they took us from our school board with this big to now we got a real school board. I had to come out the dugout to see what the school was. You know, as I said, the program, we're definitely on the move. I appreciate anything that you guys can do, any kind of network like Coach Pew said. When we go out to, our schedule will be out. We come to the Dallas area, we like the Dallas alumni to come out. We're going to San Antonio, so you guys to come out and just show some support. We appreciate it.
You know, the good thing about being me is Vernon and I are classmates. Coach Pete and I are classmates. I started off with Vernon as a softball coach. I used to have to bring these big speakers, about 2 sizes as big as the size of the softball game, and you didn't have a field at all, so I remember that. And then remember, ladies and gentlemen, Prairie View University won the first 2 softball championships in the history of the conference. So this is a tremendous feat for Vernon. And also want to mention that he did finally get his 100th win at Prairie View University. So congratulations. I remember Coach Pugh coming into the conference. I've been here a long time, and I watched her progression. I'm like, oh man, we in trouble now. I can sit Coach Pugh, and she don't play. And you can't talk to her before the game because she gonna look at you crazy. And I actually played against Coach Dooley. I said, Coach, remember the 300 game when Eddie, unfortunately, I got 300 games on Prairie View in Dallas. He said, yeah, I played against you then. I said, but then again, I played against you the next year when we beat y'all in Dallas. And I called Terry Rose from the back. So I have a relationship with all these guys, and Coach, I'm sure we're gonna meet and talk and become great friends too. And it's just sincerely an honor to do this. It is a great day to be a Panther. And I want to thank all of you for attending the summit, especially Mr. Washington, Coach Pete, Coach Dooley, Coach Pugh, all the coaches who have taken time out of their recruiting schedules to come here. I talked to Coach Smith the day before yesterday. He was really upset that he couldn't come. All of the coaches want to come. And let's start building this athletic summit each year. Kim, maybe next year we can get our 30 minutes maybe next year to this, okay? So that we can ask some questions. So without further ado, I know the bus is going to leave. The coaches are here. If you've got some quick questions for them, you can ask the coaches the questions as they get ready to go onto the bus. The bus is from 2 to 5. It's listen to the first quarter, 2 to 5. And then don't forget the...
I think all the bus people have left already.
All the bus people left?
I mean, they've gone down already, so you can ask.
So everybody else is not going?
It's important.
You're going, and you're leaving. That's my friend, Brother Zoe. Thank you for coming, bro. Really glad to see you. There's the host, so if you're going on the bus, you can still get on the bus. He's hosting the trip. If not, and you would like to stay, let's do this. The coaches got to go too, because they're on the schedule. We'll take 3 questions from each coach. Is that fair? 3 questions from each coach, if that's fair? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come out here and you can ask the first coaches if y'all want to come up. Okay, questions? Any questions? Here you go.
Robert Evans, Fort Worth chapter. Quarterback, is it too premature to say where we're looking right now? I mean, that's what we're all concerned about. And being from the Tarrant County area, Jalen Moore, I saw him play throughout Orleans. I just thought I'd throw that out. But where are we looking as far as quarterback?
Great question. I think we're looking good. They're still competing right now. We got some young men that are in camp and they're working hard. And I think right now, maybe midway through training camp, we have our guy who's going to be able to lead us to where we're trying to get to. But the quarterback situation, I'm very pleased with. A lot of experience. Everyone has played.
Questions? Donna, you usually have something to say. Nothing, Donna? Ken?
So, you coaches from our rival schools, I wanted to ask, and I worked with HBCUs in the past and even now, and I see that a lot of times the alumni will come and bring food. We live in Chicago, we try to do that as well in DC. So my question is, what do you all see, or what can we do as alumni to help you improve your program and improve the relationship with the students as well? So that in terms of, like I said, bringing food or, what would you like to see us do to help you guys?
I'm gonna let Coach Pete answer. Fred, answer that question. You were paying attention. I got it back, y'all.
Wait, I mean, I'm the only.
Based on what Ramsey does, I know they travel and you all.
Young men love to see when you got, but also I think with the recruiting aspect, that's the big part of it. Recruit guys, and I think we as coaches a lot of times we like to get into our own going out and recruiting, but I love to help. I had the opportunity to go to Dallas, and I thought that was great because all the high school coaches was there. So it's all about relationships. So just to help mend the relationships within our community, and I think there's not purview is not too small. So I mean, I think it's good enough for anyone to attend and get what they need. But the support just being there for the game, even when it's raining. If it's raining in the stadium, come out.
Wow, that's I don't know what level of support. I haven't been here at PV long enough to make a comparison. I can just give you a quick idea of some of the things that they did at SU. The Six Man Club is an organization for basketball. They're huge. They support top to bottom. They travel at least 2 or 3 games a year. They throw a kickoff for basketball, like a meet and greet at the beginning of the year when all the kids get in. They do a barbecue. I'm gonna be honest. I've never asked them for something and they didn't come through. Whether it was a shooting machine or whatever, an ice machine or whatever, they made sure it happened. Anna Jones, you all familiar with Southern, she's a State Farm agent, and she was huge. She was the one that came and put her arm around me when I first got to Southern and said, tell us what you need to grow your program. And I think that was huge. Being involved, just getting to know the kids, by, you see them on a piece of paper, walk up and introduce yourself. That makes kids feel good, make them feel connected. As I said before, donating money, those type of things. So whatever.
First of all, both of those are excellent actions. But at prayers that are my responsibility to do versus what the alumni. For our student athletes, for resources, for equipment, for all that, that's my responsibility. It doesn't mean that the alumni can't have a barbecue and take, you can do that if the team is available and the coaches want to do that. But in terms of the need and responsibility, that is not our need, because they will have everything that they need to be successful as a team and as a program. But what they need is alumni engagement and support. That is what they need. They need to know that there is a fan base and a support group out there that is there in their corner. That's what they need. They don't need the accessories and amenities. There was a time where we did, and that may have been the case at any institution. That is not the time where we now.
What is our theme? Forward with alumni engagement, friends and alums. That's what we got to do.
Ask about the quarterback. My concern is how do we look on defense? In the past, we've been able to score 45 points, but we give up 50. And second part of the question is, I read where this year we have about 28 transfers. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that seems quite high. We're depending a lot on the transfers coming in to show some of the load this year.
Well, we do have a lot of transfers that has come in, but we say transfers, some junior college kids as well, but because we lost a lot of area that I saw was most needed, and actually that was the area I was prepared to get started, because I had to prepare against those guys for the last 4 years, so I did understand what was needed in that department. We're dependent on those guys. We needed some maturity there, so we had to bring in some older guys, but we do have some guys that are returning that's going to be great help, some guys that didn't have the opportunity to play last year, but I think they hone these skills and they're in position right now. Boys getting up to 50 points, I'm not concerned with that. That won't be happening this year right here. They're going to be ready. They're going to be fast. They're going to be aggressive. So they're going to fly around to the football.
I'm a child of the Jim Crow era when things were segregated, and I'm not wearing it like a badge of courage, but it was what it was. What we had during that era was that we knew about Prairie View and Texas Southern. Nowadays, in our community, and I live in Dallas, our kids in that area have a lot of options, many more options than we had when I was growing up. And some of the times, the thing about the Dallas, about the Prairie View Grambling game in Dallas, it allows a showcase for both of those institutions as well as the SWAC. So it allows our young people to know something about what is available in our community. A few years back, the basketball team played a game in Dallas, and it's an opportunity if we can figure out a way to connect with the district in Dallas, because they do have a tournament up there annually, that our young people in that area could see the offerings at Prairie View, and it may make some of those kids might want to go there. Everybody in our community is not going to make it in D1, but it is good for them to know that there's still a Prairie View, and Prairie View is still a very good deal. And we also have a circumstance where many of our teachers in the community were Prairie View and Texas Southern graduates, Bishop, and so on and so forth. And many of them would be trumpeting our cause out there in those schools. Now we have to compete with all these other people, and our message somehow is not getting out there as well as it could. So, there are things that you can do. If you could have a game there, so our young people can see that there's an option other than D1 schools, may be helpful.
We are. Thank you. You say from the Dallas area, sir?
Yeah.
So you came. The State Fair Classic is in Dallas.
I know. And that is a good marketing part for both Prairie View and Grambling, so much so, some people think Grambling isn't that.
Oh, wow. Ken Gerber, thank you, sir.
I have a question for Fred. You said the alumni communicate with the university. Are you saying we come to you for the questions, or a certain way you want us to come when we have something that we want to share with the college and what the alumni is doing?
Y'all know that is not true. That's called and as communication. But first of all, there's generally based on what you're calling or asking about, there's generally somebody that's supposed to be responsible for responding to that. But I hope that you would agree that if you end up contacting me or calling me, we're going to get you to the right person to support your in the capacity of athletics. Right now, sure, you can call me or contact me for athletics, but we're trying to work together on our means of communication and receiving things within the athletic department so that it's streamlined. You know, one of the things that occurred as an institution with technology, so we went to this voice over IP telephone system many years ago, like many other businesses did, and everybody got a phone number, right? And so the number that we're giving out is our individual phone number. Well, what happens in departments is, you know, people are moving around. Everybody doesn't just sit at their desk all the time. It doesn't mean that they're not at work. It doesn't mean that they're not doing something productive. If you call me on the phone number that is assigned to me, and I'm on the phone, what happens? It's just going to go to voicemail, or it's going to keep ringing, depending on how it's configured. We are moving to where we're going to have centralized numbers. We're not just athletics, but us as a university, where your call comes in to a place where it is always going to be answered. And then once that call comes in, you will get to the area that is appropriate to assist you. Ken, I don't know if I answered your question, because he's going to tell me later that I didn't get it. But yes, if you have a need, please. I agree with you, John. With athletics, we are working on our way of communicating and responding. In my division of auxiliary service, that is a standard required email response. If you call us, and if you email me, some of you email me while I'm here, my response is, I want to verify I've got your email. I will do this, and I will follow back up. Because I've been at the NAA convention for 3 days, and my email ain't open an attachment. So if you send me an attachment, I can't even read it, right? But the task of addressing the university's communication plan and response plan. We have a specific plan of doing that. One of the things that I also want to share, I think Vernon mentioned facilities and some of the, anything that we want to be good at, we have to be deliberate about. All right, these facilities that we have, that is not an accident. The stadium is not an accident. The softball improvements are not an accident. We made a plan together in 2010. We created a plan for all of our athletic facilities. There's only 2 things left on that plan that haven't been touched. One of them is underway right now, which is the Knicks Fieldhouse Baby Dome. That's going on right now. What was in our improvement plan? The last thing is tennis. That's the last thing in the plan that we haven't touched. We have to be deliberate about it. And so what I am, during this time with you guys, I'm going to be deliberate about asking people to come to campus to support our programs and activities. We have to be deliberate about that, because that is what we need right now. That's what we need. Robert was complaining about attendance, and the attendance is skewed by the state fair game that we talked about all these other games. Well, we have a lot of capacity for growth in our home. Must improve. We fought 2,000 or trying to package a 30,000. I said we have to grow in conversation. When that stadium is full consistently, then we can move to the 30,000 in right now, because we haven't had beyond the first year we did very well. We dipped a little bit. Robert blames it on the hurricane. I don't buy that, but he does. We have to be deliberate about supporting our program, and so I believe that one ends. We'll develop another one, and there will be more projects. But thank you. I'm sorry.
I also want to mention, golf is starting to get exciting. I don't know about you guys, but you know, since Tiger Woods, folks get excited about golfing. You know, I hadn't been a golfer. I better get me some clubs because I'm gonna have to play with them. But I let's get over to Brother Austin and somebody else said one.
My question is about passed up some good players, or athletes, and I think it's mostly on the communication side, because I know I talked to people of athletes in Dallas, and no call, no answer, and then it's too late. The athlete went somewhere else. Is there a system that we're going by, or what are we doing on recruiting?
Is this an overall question for all coaches, or? Well, I'm going to let Coach Dooley answer that question because.
Absolutely, I think it is a requirement that you have to have because there's certain guys that you're looking for that's going to play within your system. But fortunately, this year here we were able to sign 5 guys out of the Dallas area. We did hit that area hard, and we're looking for more recruits to come out of that area. We had a junior day, and I think over 75 kids in that area came down. We also had a camp. Deion Sanders was able to bring some kids down as well, which was great. But we hit that area pretty good and got some players out of there. But the thing is, we just need to see them. We're like Coach Pugh, the same way. If you send me a tape, I'm going to watch it, regardless of what it is. My coaches know that I want to look at every player. I'm not going to just let a coach look at the player. I need to see them as well. And we're going to look at it, and we have a point system that we look at because of what we're looking for, and then that's how we narrow it down. But since we've been here, we have been responding to emails and calls and making sure that we talk to the alumni and anyone that's interested in our program. Did that answer the question? Now, I will say this here. I do understand that you're going to bring 5 guys, this alumni is going to bring 5 guys, but we're not going to be able to take all of them. We have to fit. It may be a quarterback, but we already have 4 quarterbacks that's on the roster that's on scholarship. So we don't have any money for that. And we may need which everybody does, offensive line, defensive line. And that's where the money is going to be at. It's not that we don't want the kid or the kid is not good enough down. If he's that great, I'm going to find some kind of way to get him in. But it's a league, and sometimes it's kind of tough, and it seems as though we're not interested or not listening to you guys, but the money situation is not there because we only can sign so many guys. And it's a position thing, such as this year here, we lost a lot of defensive linemen. We signed 11. So we were able to bring some guys in, but when you look at the defensive backs, I feel we got a lot of guys that return, so there really was no money, but we still signed guys out of the Dallas area that play defensive back.
Let me say this about the recruiting right quick, and I'm just going to try to give some numbers that you guys might not be aware of. Coach Dooley came in, what, the second week of February? Second week of February. National Signing Day was 2.5 or 3 weeks away.
Well, we came second week of January was 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks of recruiting, and I know for a fact he signed those 28 players in those 2 weeks. 7, I think, was from right there in the Houston area, 5 from the Dallas area. And with that short time frame, that is really unheard of to come in and sign that many people. And of course, some of those he stole from somewhere. I ain't gonna call them. It's just like Coach Pugh did too. Coach Pugh hit the ground running. And I'm not trying to piggyback on this, but these are things as a sports announcer, you watch what's going on for the team so you can be prepared to talk about it. And you know, I'm not just saying this because I love Prairie View. These coaches have done a phenomenal job in recruiting and getting their feet right on the ground. I know because this is what I do for a living, and I watch them. I've watched them share this with alums all over the country. The key is involved, and we got to get involved, and we got to get involved. Listen to what you got to say, and just like Coach Dooley just did, they will answer what's going on, and that's a very, very good answer about what's going on. I've been in Coach Peak's office when 15 people have called in her office and said, hey, I got a kid that I want you to come see. You just can't look at everybody, but you can acknowledge that we are hearing what you say, and we thank you for that involvement. So continue to send them these players, continue to call them, but it's a tough job. So just thought I'd throw that in there, coaches.
Fred, I know you're pretty business savvy. Compared to other SWAC schools, what does our athletic budget look like compared to other schools in the SWAC? Are we pretty on par financially? Are we up or down compared to the other schools?
You're gonna turn it. Well, let me say that there are a few different metrics in which they measure that. The public one is, what is the FAA? Some report that we submit to the NCAA that came out a couple of weeks ago that showed that we were #1. Rob, you're on that, and you follow that stuff. In revenues, right, and so obviously if our revenues are among the highest, then our operating expenses are going to be, relatively among the highest too. In 2008, don't quote me on exact number. In 2008, the department was in a range of $3 to $4 million. I mean, it was very low. We were not financially competitive with the other programs in our conference. We've been very fortunate since then to now that not only did our alumni get involved and engaged in helping us build our financial background, but our students got involved us very deliberately. Again, I use the term deliberately, what they wanted. So the student leaders, I think it was Harrison Blair was the SCA president at that time. He came to me and told me that, hey, we want to help the athletic program because the people that we're talking about are students. They're students too, so they wanted to help the student athletes. We were doing the master plan. And what if we would do that, we will put the funds on the table to help the athletic program. So if you look at our 2010 master plan, you will see that the rec center, which is not an athletic facility, was included in that master plan, and that was at the students' request. So we did that, and then all of a sudden we had the resources to answer your question. I would venture to say that operationally we are in the top 5 in terms of financial support. Whether our revenues are aligned with our expenses, Ken, is a different answer, and I'm not at a point where I can answer that for you right now. Our expenses as a number are on par or better than everybody else. But if our expenses are actually aligned with the way that we're doing business, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm only 30 days, give me another week or two, I'll get there.
All right, Charles. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna kind of wrap things up. Our final question or comment. You don't need, did we answer the question? One more question? He's got a lot.
What I wanted to say is, president of the Prairie Athletic Club, I came down because I didn't know Brother Fred Taylor, and I don't know all the coaches, but I met Coach Dooley at our PC function along with President Reynolds. I want to address the fact that I did have a conversation with Brother Taylor when I met him about Washington.
It's all right. I go by many names.
You got all the jobs. But from a Prairie Athletic Club standpoint, one of the alumni clubs that we have, we're going to meet the coaches. Ken knows this, and I know I like the way you put him on the spot, but we're going to meet the coaches one at a time as they come over. But the key for us, and the key that I want to bring out here is I did talk to Brother Washington about communicating with the alumni, especially those athletes that we're trying to recruit in the Prairie Athletic Club, and I'm doing in terms of Houston and Waller, whatever. But we're going to bring in athletes, and I had a conversation in this fashion. The old athletes that I'm recruiting to help make sure we support the athletes and raise money. But when they call to get an answer to a question, and you promised me that we would get this set up, that we get a response, that we get somebody that is able to respond, and that they respond to the question that's being asked. That is a problem. And I'm speaking now as an alumni, an old Prairie Youth football player, and I'm going to meet the coaches in our meetings, because we're right there in Prairie Youth. There are people in Dallas and California, they may call, or they may have recruits and they can't get answers. So I'm challenging you, Brother Washington, to make sure that you set up that communication process, because I've had 3 athletes old athletes that wanted to go to President Simmons on it. And I stopped it. You and I had that conversation, so I'm not saying anything out of turn. But it is important that we communicate with the alumni across the board, and that we get that communication set up and not just say it. I'm not saying that's not what you're going to do, but it is important. Because if we don't do it, we're not going to get the money and the support to put the people in the stands for the softball, which I didn't know we had, really, until I got back and retired. And so we have people in the Waller, Houston area that will come down. But if they call up there and say, what's the schedule? And somebody pushes them aside, that's going to be a problem. And that's not something I want to leave on the table without emphasizing the fact we are doing some great things in graduating athletes and doing some things and trying to get some money there. But you got to respect the alumni. You got to do that. And I want to make sure that that was emphasized.
Well, in response, let me say first that I am an alum, administrator responsible for resolving issues and challenges. I use the same services that you use as an alum. And so when we encounter these things, we are committed to addressing them. I want to find a person who has ever reached out to me as an administrator or as a person and didn't get a response, right? And so I say that not to boast that I've done something that others can't do, but that is what I expect people who work with me as a part of a team to do. All right, so it's not going to be this great undertaking that we're trying to learn or do something new. It's going to be expecting the standard in which I perform. It is very, very simple to respond to someone and say, I got your message. It really doesn't take that much effort, skill, or activity in order to do that. It has been an area of emphasis for us as a campus in this last thing by myself, but putting forward the processes necessary for us to address this as an institution on how we got here. It is not all people are not responding and don't care. It is systems, processes, and effort. They are all a part of this, and we will address this problem. That is not going to be something that continues. It is not just calling me or calling athletics. It is calling the financial aid office, calling admissions, calling housing, calling. It is an institutional issue that we are working to address. And we are committed to doing that.
Okay, my next question is.
Charles, you said 3 questions.
Well, yeah.
But I'm saying he said 3 questions.
She didn't ask 3.
I'm on point.
I'm counting.
Third and final question right now. So we've had some issues with our contact issues, but for lack of a better word, challenges or something, bringing in quarterbacks, right, that are saying so you see, and they come in and they're actually ready to, and they're not scared, and they're not whatever. I mean, I know that it's a change from high school, and in some cases they are performing or they're playing in front of crowds that may be bigger than what they're used to. But the previous coach was saying, okay, we're trying to get them ready, and I get that. But I think what my concern is making sure that we're recruiting quarterbacks that are ready to play day one. How does that?
You don't have that problem. I expect them to come in and compete right away. And that's what the opportunity will be. So when we evaluate these guys here, we evaluate these guys and they have opportunity to be better than the guy that we're playing right now. So it's going to be competition year out. You may win the job that week, but it's still on.
Okay, thank you.
And we got some coaches. We're done? Okay. This is it. Last 2.
On the issue of recruiting, I've talked to Mr. Robinson, I've talked to Mr. Peter. Just with softball alone, we have 18 Division I schools with softball. We're never going to get that kid that's going to Texas A&M or going to UT just because they figure that's where they're supposed to be. Then we got the next level kids that probably won't get it. Not that I'm not trying. I tell kids, I'm going to stay until you tell me no. But we get to a level of kid that now we competing with everybody trying to get this kid. And then I get a call from an alum that say, I need you to look at my neighbor's daughter that hasn't played since she was at the Y. and so that's some of the calls that I have got, you know. Can you teach her how to play? This is Division I softball. I'm not in the business of teaching anybody how to play. Secondly, as an alum, and I don't know, I haven't met a lot of quarterbacks. I've seen people on social media, our quarterbacks suck. We just have to be together. If you have a kid, like I say, we look at everybody, but we just can't get it. That year, like say he has 4 quarterbacks, he don't need quarterbacks. Next year he might be probably 11 defensive linemen. He probably ain't gonna be defensive lineman. You know, it's just, and just the way the game works. So like I said, just kind of work with us, don't work against us. We all won, we all at that goal trying to get this Commissioner's Cup, trying to win as many championships as possible. We need you guys, you know, on the team with us, not in here talking with us, and then when we don't win 2 games in a row, you on Facebook talking about we need a new coach. I can't come to your job and try to get you fired.
In regards to recruiting and criteria, I'm sure as with the other coaches, not to be a dead horse, but each of us have certain things that we're looking for, just like he said. And for me, I'm looking for that athlete that's going to, like you said, take us to the next tier of what we're doing. And for each of us, that's different. So the criteria, as we analyze, like you said, the video, for me it would be playing resume, you know, listing of events, where they played, how they played, how they finished, what particular facility that is. That gives me an idea of what type of player that is, and lets me know, okay, this is the type of individual that we can bring in. And some of us can and will develop certain types of players, but not all players are at that level where you won't be spending that time, because again, we are a divisional institution. We're in a great place. It's an exciting time. We want to continue to move forward. And we're just looking for those athletes that can allow us to do that.
Okay, let's put a wrap on things, unless Mr. Washington, are you done? Oh, you need another question? Let me just put a finishing touches on this. These athletic summits, these are our opportunities to air our grievances with the athletics director and coaches. If you got something to say and we want some hard questions, you have an opportunity to ask coaches on these type of forums, or ask the athletic director on these type of forums. We want to thank them for making themselves available to answer the hard questions. Case in point, Coach Dooley and I met Coach Dooley. I was excited about him coming. I knew it was because I played against him and I know his work ethic. But that was that. There was some controversy and questions about Coach Dooley when he first came around, just like there is with all the coaches. Okay? But as an athletic director, you got to make a decision. Those decisions must be held accountable for. So when we brought Coach Dooley in, all kind of chitter chatter started going around. I sat down and I talked to Coach Dooley. I said, Coach, we have hired coaches, presidents, deans, around the Prairie community. It's not about you, it's about the process. But what I tell those alums, first of all, and Kim will tell you, I don't bite my tongue. The first time they come around me, airing those grievances, do research before you start that chitter chatter. We come to these type of forums so that we can talk about what's going on with the Prairie community. Okay? We found out that we got a hell of a coach, hell of a football coach. Coach Dooley and I sat down, and he's very approachable, very intelligent. He's gonna talk to you about what's going on, but you gotta ask some questions. Making the wrong decision. Coach Sandy Pugh. Hey, if Coach Sandy Pugh is interested, you got a small window, because if we call him, somebody else is calling. Okay, great decision. Alums all across the board in athletics. They're still working there. I'm still working there. I'm an alum. Coach Pete's an alum. Burns an alum. Fred's an alum. Coach Clay's an alum. Tacho Tyler is an alum. Tim Smith is an alum. We got alums everywhere. We got to support each other. I said it a long time ago that we have got to do better as an alumni. Got to do better. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody who made this possible. I want to thank Ken Gray. I want to thank Greg Austin on here, who's always supported me, man. You know, that's Juan Hill or something else. You know, even when I was first doing the games at KTV, Juan Hill, my first couple of years, came to every game to support me. I love you, man. I'll never forget that. Also, Kim Runnels for allowing us to put this on. Next year it's going to be even bigger and better. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring this to a close. And Brother Austin, can we close with a prayer, please? Can we close with a prayer? And then we will be adjourned. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, I want to also thank the Mike Prince Show for publicizing this summit. So many days in a row, you can catch the show at the OBN Network, obn.org, Monday through Fridays at 10 o'clock a.m.
Thank you. I believe in what Dr. Kimbrough said yesterday. We have to challenge ourselves within ourselves and not go outside of ourselves and dog ourselves. And that's as plain as I can put it. We have to help each other. And if we don't, then we're not doing ourselves justice. And so I know we may get on you in here, but this is where it stays. Let's go to our Father. Brothers, would you catch me? Father, we now thank you for this time, Father. Fellowship, we thank you, Father, for the coaches that have come and that have shared. Father, go with these, Father, believers. Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve. And so, Father, that's what we do, because the bottom line is we're doing this for our children and those that are coming after us. Let us stand strong, Father, in your word. And then, Father, let us stand strong behind our university. And then, Father, we pray for the NAA. Let us continue to grow. And then, Father, go with us and bless us. And all that we do, Father, let us keep you first. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Your turn.